I've scratched my rims trying to park as close to the curb as possible, just to lower the odds of another car hitting mine. I've driven slower on the highway to save a few dollars in gas, and lost far more time than the fuel was worth. Neither mistake was serious, but evidently I'm fully capable of optimizing exactly the wrong thing. That's precisely the point. I was trying to avoid a small loss while accepting a much larger one. We do this all the time. We become so focused on preventing small mistakes, small expenses, small inconveniences, or small losses that we lose sight of what we're actually trying to accomplish. Dale Carnegie wrote in How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. Men fuss more about pains in the neck than about the big things. The little things are tempting because they're concrete. You can see the scratched rim, the extra fuel cost on the receipt, the minor mistake in the document. But some of the biggest costs are much harder to see. The hour you spent unnecessarily, the opportunity you didn't pursue because you were worried about getting it wrong, the attention consumed by something that ultimately didn't matter. Here's where this stops being about parking spots. The tendency to optimize everything can become its own form of inefficiency. This doesn't mean being careless. Some small things matter enormously when they compound, but you have to distinguish between precision that protects something important and precision that merely makes you feel like you're being careful. Sometimes the right decision is to let the small thing happen. Park slightly farther from the curb. Drive at a reasonable speed and accept you'll spend a little more on fuel. Ship the rough draft and fix it later. Let an inconsequential disagreement go. Spend the hour on something that might actually change the trajectory of your life. Because if all you're doing is accumulating small wins, you may never develop the perspective to see the bigger game. Donald Trump writes in Think Big. If you cannot even dream of doing big things, you will never do anything big in life. There's another idea I find useful here. Korean author Cho Yun-jae writes about a distinction from Confucian thought. The noble-minded person is concerned with what is right. The small-minded person is concerned with the immediate gain. This doesn't mean small gains don't matter. They do. But if immediate gain becomes the lens through which you evaluate every decision, you can end up optimizing your life for things that don't deserve to be optimized. I notice this in myself whenever I get complacent. Life has a way of reminding me that the thing I was carefully protecting wasn't actually the thing that mattered. So I'm trying to ask a different question. Not how do I avoid losing this, but what am I actually trying to accomplish? Sometimes that means accepting a scratched rim. Sometimes it means spending a little more money. And sometimes it means looking foolish, being imperfect, or letting something go. The goal isn't to eliminate every small loss. It's to make sure that avoiding small losses doesn't become the reason you miss the big gains.